think about yourself? Why do you think this? Has someone said or implied that this is true? Everyone, no matter nationality, race, or gender, everyone receives criticism on a daily basis. But it is such a broad term. So why don't we understand it better? Why don't we look into it more? I have divided up criticism into 4 main categories. 1 is rumors, which is criticism that you receive indirectly, so usually behind your back. 2 is the criticism that you receive directly, so usually someone is telling it to your face. Thirdly is the criticism that you ask for. It's something that you want to hear. And fourthly is the criticism you assume other people think about you. What do they feel when they see you? I want you to think of a negative word that you believe is true about yourself. Why do you think this? Has someone told you this, either indirectly or directly? Either way, why choose to put so much weight onto what they have said? What makes them such a trustworthy person? In school, we are taught to use reliable resources at all times. I believe probably every single teacher I've ever had since middle school have spent at least one class going through what it is, why we're using reliable resources, how to find them, and so on. And we might think it's boring at the time, but it's actually really important. They've told us that it's important because a lot of people out there, no matter who they are, how old they are, a lot of people don't have the knowledge necessary, the education, nor experience to actually speak about their topic. What they're speaking about might not have been tested. It might not actually be true. It might just be a belief instead of a fact. And this is extremely important in school because our academics and what we learn in school is going to influence what kind of job we get, how we live our lives in the future. Of course, it's very important. But isn't our identity even more important? Our identity is what we believe about ourselves, what we see when we look at ourselves. And it's used in everything we do every single day. So what I'm trying to say is this. Why do we choose to only evaluate the sources in school and not the sources in which we receive criticism? So I want you to think about who has said this belief about you. Why have they said it? What's their purpose? Usually, if your mother or if your best friend, let's just say, hypothetically, if they would tell you that you're a mean person, that would probably mean more to you. It would hurt you more than if a stranger or a person you didn't know very well came up to you and said the same thing. But why is this? Why does that mean more? We don't really reflect over this, but if we do, we can see that it's because they have the knowledge to actually say this. They've known you for a long time, maybe even a lifetime. They've seen how you act in different situations, how you respond to conflict, and how you have grown as a person. This makes them a lot more trustworthy than a stranger. But then again, I understand that a stranger, hopefully, don't usually come up to you and say that you're mean. But I'm sure there are people in your life who have told or said things about you, either behind your back or to your face, that first of all might not be true, or second of all might be exaggerated. It's not trustworthy because they don't have anything to base their facts off of. They don't know you. So I want us to look at the 4 types of criticism again. First, rumors. So they're usually been told behind your back, and everyone, just like an author or a speaker, like any article or any essay, a person has a purpose. No matter what's being said, they have a purpose. Their motivations might not be the same as your motivations. Therefore, this is extremely important when we evaluate where the sources are coming from. So rumors, they're being told behind your back, right? But why are they being told behind your back? I'm sure you have said something behind someone else's back at some point in your life, because believe it or not, we all have at some point. I want you to think of that time, or try to think of a time. Why did you say the things you did? It was probably, and most likely, because you wanted to make yourself heard. You wanted to fit into a group of people. It might be a new friendship or a new relationship. You didn't really know what to say, so you wanted to say something of importance, something that other people would like to hear, that they would appreciate. So maybe you made up a rumor, or you just kept on saying something else you've heard. What I'm trying to say is the purpose is not to hurt the person you're talking about, but it's instead to make yourself heard. Therefore, the name used in the conversation isn't actually important. It could simply be switched out by someone else's name. So if you hear a rumor about you, it's not actually about you, or hopefully it's not. It's about that person. So therefore, this criticism should not be taken too seriously. We got the criticism that you receive directly, and this is usually exaggerated. It's usually told to you at a moment where the person is overwhelmed. So much is going through their head, they're having so many feelings at the time, so they just need to get it out. They need to spit everything out because they can't handle it. So they put it on you. Usually it's negative, and usually it's something harsh. But they're doing this in a moment where they're overwhelmed. What they're saying is coming out of anger, out of fear. They might even be jealous of you. There might be something in you that they wish they had, something that they're not confident to deal with. Therefore, they feel like they need to push you down in order to bring themselves up. So therefore, before you listen too deeply to what other people are saying to your face, think about, first of all, who are they? Do they know you? Are they a close friend or a family member? Second of all, what proves what they're saying? Where's the evidence? But then we have the third type of criticism, which is the criticism you ask for. This also has a purpose. Why are you asking for criticism? Why do you want someone to say something maybe negative or constructive about you? Well, at least for me, it's because I want to improve in something, right? It doesn't matter if it's in the educational field or if it's personal. I want to grow as a person. So usually I ask a friend or my mother, who I know knows me very, very well. I know they have the knowledge to actually say the truth. They know how I can improve, and they know what I need to improve in. I also know they're going to be honest, not maybe brutally honest, where I'm going to get hurt, hopefully not at least, but they're going to be honest. They're not going to say, no, you're perfect the way you are. They're going to try to help me because they know I want to hear it. This is usually referred to as feedback. And this might sound less harsh in your ears than criticism. This is a type of criticism we want to focus on when we think about ourselves. But these three, when added up together, can cause us to think and theorize a lot about who we are as people. What are other people saying when I'm not around? What are they thinking? What do they think when they look at me or when they hear me speak? It can cause us to think and wonder in school, out of school, all the time. And I know this for a fact because I personally am an overthinker, meaning I overthink about everything there possibly is to think about. You name it, and I've thought about it, for sure. I can spend days or weeks trying to think about things, and it drives me mad. I wish at some point I could just turn my brain off and just make myself stop thinking. And I try to think what other people believe about me. I take the different things I've heard, either rumors, feedback, or things people have said to my face, and I try to push them together and understand what other people might feel. But here's where I make the mistake. I take each type of criticism and I make them worth 1 point, and then I just add them up together. I do a simple math problem, and I find the average, right? And that's my worth. That's who I am. But is that actually trustworthy? I mean, should what my friend is saying about me, should that be worth as much as someone in 2nd grade making up a rumor and using my name? This doesn't seem very balanced to me. Therefore, usually when we add up this and we find the average, what we assume people think about us is usually not reliable. It's usually very exaggerated. So together, these 4 can cause us to think about us, how we are as people, as ourselves. Like, what do you think about yourself? Well, when people ask me what I think about myself, I don't know what I think about myself. Where's my sources coming from? Where are they coming from? Am I using my own experiences, or am I using what other people have said about me? And believe me, it's easy to be harsh towards yourself. I am very harsh towards myself in everything I do. Half the things I think, I would never say to another person because they're way too cruel. So why am I saying it to myself? Am I not supposed to be my best friend? Am I not supposed to love myself more than I love anybody else? So why am I this harsh towards myself? When you're thinking about who you are and your identity, try to think about your own experiences. How have you grown in life? How have you changed? Of course you've made mistakes. We all do. That's what makes us human. But how have you grown from these situations? I like to measure how much we're worth in how much we've improved. How much we try to see ourselves as honest people. But in the end, it doesn't matter how much I think and theorize, because I will never actually know what other people think about me. If I think about the rumors that are usually told between teenagers, even though I've learned in the past couple of weeks and months that people don't actually mature from gossip, but adults also gossip, believe it or not. But it doesn't matter how much I think and theorize, because I will never be able to control other people. It doesn't matter how much I wish and I pray that I can control other people. I just can't. It's impossible. And then the only person I can control is myself. I want to spend more time thinking about what I think about myself. What do I value? What are my core beliefs? Instead of spending all this time, all this energy thinking about what other people think about me. Because that's just a waste of time. I mean, I'm never going to know anyways. They're never going to tell me, and even if they do, how do I know that that's the truth? So we've gone through this process of thought. We've thought about what other people think about us. But there is one person you can control. It's yourself. You're supposed to be your best friend because you have to live your entire life with yourself. No matter if you wish you could run away from yourself, you can't. You're stuck in your body. So you have to live your entire life with yourself. Why not choose to like that person? Why not choose to help that person improve? So in conclusion, I want us to think about where are our resources coming from? Where are the facts coming from? Before we analyze who we are, it's important to think about who is the person saying it. Because if we don't analyze where the criticism is coming from, our idea of ourselves, our self-image, is going to be extremely distorted. And believe me, once you actually respect and love yourself, or at least try to, real friends will follow. Friends who actually appreciate you for who you are and not for who you should be, or for who you're trying to be even. This is what I want to leave you with. Thank you.